Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Kristen, this is my booktube, and in today's video, I wanted to do something that I have not done in a very long time, and that is take you guys book shopping with me. It's been a while since we've done any book shopping or haul type videos on this channel, and that is mostly because I've been trying to chill a little bit on the book spending. I believe the last time I took you guys book shopping with me, and pretty much the last big book shopping outing that I did was when I used my gift cards back in like January or February to go and do some shopping at Barnes & Noble. So I figured that since I've been doing pretty good about not purchasing new books and only using my library cards for some reading, I wanted to go to the big flagship half-price bookstore in Dallas so that I can see what's going on, see what they've got out, and maybe pick up some new books in the process. I'm not going in with many particular titles that I'm looking for. I do want to look and see what they have for the Lore Olympus graphic novel series. I have the first 3 volumes sitting on a table across the room from me right now, and there are like 7 or 8 that are currently out, so I am missing quite a few, and the 3 that I have I got from Half Price Books, so I just want to see if they have any more of the volumes that I don't already own. And then the second book that I want to look for while I'm there is a hard copy of The Hunger Games, the very first book in the trilogy, as you've probably heard me gripe about before, and you can see right here. I have all 3 of the books from the original trilogy. These are my copies from high school when I read them initially. And you can also probably tell that The Hunger Games is paperback and Catching Fire and Mockingjay are both hardbacks. And that has bugged me for like 15 years since I bought these books to begin with. I believe when I actually purchased them, these 2 were only available in hardback, and I had already purchased the first one in paperback, so that's how I ended up with a mismatched set. And I just want to see if they have a hardback that I could potentially replace this paperback with. So those are the only 2 books that I have already in my mind going into this little outing today. But knowing me, I will probably go buck wild once I'm in there and end up with a lot more books, which is also why I have tried not to go as much, because as you can see, I already own a lot of books. Last time I counted, I had about 440 books, and I pretty much have all of my bookshelves full at the moment. So that's another reason why I haven't done that much book shopping, but I also just really love going shopping for books. I love discovering new titles and new books to add to my collection. So I think it's about time for another trip to Half Price Books. Alrighty friends, I have returned, and boy oh boy do I have a haul for you guys. This is the bag that I ended up walking out with. I did purchase this tote bag in the checkout line as well because, as I anticipated, I did go a little wild. I ended up buying 12 books and 1 record. So we have a lot to go through in this haul portion. So I'm not going to do much yapping. We're just going to jump on into talking about the things that I picked up while I was at Half Price Books. First of which, obviously, is this bag. And I believe that this is like the original storefront for the Half Price Books flagship. I thought it was cute. I can always use another tote bag. So for $1.50, I decided to pick up this bag. Then the one record that I picked up, which is totally out of season because it's currently mid-May, but I know that I will listen to this later this year, and it is a Bing Crosby Christmas album. Yes, I can't go to Half Price Books without at least perusing the records just a little bit. I honestly did not look that much at the records while I was there, mostly because I had already spent so much time looking at all of the new displays and stuff that they had out, so I just didn't really spend a lot of time in the record section. But this caught my eye as I was perusing. I don't think that I have many Christmas records at all. I may have like 1 or 2, and they're just like very generic Christmas carols, but I thought this one would be really nice to have because Bing Crosby has a lot of really famous Christmas songs, and this album has a lot of the classics on it as well. It has Silent Night, O Come All Ye Faithful, White Christmas, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, I'll Be Home for Christmas, Jingle Bells, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Silver Bells, It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas, and Mele Kalikimaka. So as soon as I read the track list on this album, I could just see myself like 6 months from now when I'm putting up all my Christmas decorations, just putting this on my record player as I'm putting up my tree and stuff, and it just gave me the exact kind of cozy Christmas vibes I wanted. So for $14, is that how much it was? Oh, $15. For $15, I decided to pick up this Bing Crosby Christmas album so that Christmas Kristen can have some great music to go along with her decorating endeavors. Then for the rest of these, I'm just going to start from the top of the bag and we're just going to work our way down. These books are vastly different, so apologies in advance for the probable whiplash you'll have as I go through this stack of books, but what can I say? I have a lot of interests, and that is definitely reflected in this stack of books right here. So the first book on the top of this stack is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. Now, I don't think I read this book when I was doing my YouTube channel, but I know I have talked about this book on this channel before when I've read other Christina Lauren books, but of the books of theirs that I have read, this is my favorite one. I think that this is a really good rom-com, like a true rom-com where it is actually funny. Like, there are situational things that are funny in this book, even though I read it like I think 3 years ago at this point. As soon as I saw it in Half Price Books, I had such fond memories of it, and I had to pick it up and put it in my basket because I don't already own it, and it can go right next to some of my other favorite romances, like The Kiss Quotient, or Book Lovers, or Take a Hint, Danny Brown. This Colleen Hoover book is not actually one that I've read or that I would vouch for at all, so I'll probably replace this Colleen Hoover book with this one. I don't know if I've actually talked much about Colleen Hoover on this channel, but I'm not a huge fan of Colleen Hoover, and I mostly bought this book to read and potentially make a video about, so just because it's in my background doesn't mean that I actually like vouch for this book at all. But I think we're gonna put The Unhoneymooners right there where November 9 is, honestly. And we are jumping very far genre-wise with the next book because I did hit up the history section and I got a couple of really heavy history books, and this is one of them. This is The Burning Tigress, The Armenian Genocide and America's Response. And this is obviously a historical book about the Armenian Genocide. I have been going through a kick lately where I am just wanting to learn history about countries that I don't really know much about and events in history that I don't know too much about. And the Armenian genocide is one of those. I know of it, I know that it happened, and I know that World War I was used as a way to cover up a lot of the atrocities of the Armenian genocide. So when I saw this book, it fit right in with that interest that I have right now, and I wanted to add it to my shelf so that I can continue my learning journey that I'm doing by myself. Then the next book that I picked up from the history section is An American Martyr in Persia by Reza Aslan. And Persia/Iran has been one of my areas of interest over the last couple weeks. I have gone down a bit of a YouTube rabbit hole watching history videos about the Persian Empire and Iran from like BC times all the way up to the 1979 revolution. And I just thought that this would be a very interesting book to read, seeing that this is an area of history that I've already been interested in. And it'll probably give a little more in-depth detail to the revolution in the early 1900s. And I also thought it was very interesting that this particular story centers around an American guy from the Midwest who basically goes on a mission trip to Iran and ends up joining the revolutionary forces and dying in battle to try and overthrow the authoritarian government that is in place in 1907. So that's my little nerd spiel about why I decided to pick up this book, but I am very excited to eventually dig into this book. We'll see how long it takes me to actually do that, but nonetheless, I did want to add this to my shelf and add it to my TBR. The next book in my stack is Paris 1919, 6 Months That Changed the World. And once again, this centers around the aftermath of World War I, just in period of history that I do know some things about, but it's not as in-depth as the topics that I actually studied for my master's dissertation. So I thought I'd go ahead and pick this up as well so that I could do some more learning. Then I picked up Alive and Well in Pakistan. Kind of similarly, I have also been learning more about Pakistan and India. I will say, because my historical research background is in British history, specifically during the height of the British Empire, I do already know a bit about Pakistan and India and also Bangladesh. So this is really just more supplementary reading for the stuff that I already knew, that I already learned when I was an undergrad, and that I am getting back into now with my historical research that I do just for fun, I guess. I'm not writing anything. I just go down rabbit holes, okay? I just like knowing things. I just have a curious mind, and I always like learning new things, especially when it has to do with history. That's just my personal brand of special hyperfixation. It's always history, and it's always places that I don't know as much as I feel like I should about. And India and Pakistan is one of those, even though I do have, you know, like a baseline knowledge. I really wanted to pick this up and give this a go as well, and the blurbs on the back really helped sell me for that. Okay, and I think that's pretty much all of the history-based books that I got. Really trying to fill out my historical collection for places other than England, because I have so many of those books from my undergraduate research, from my master's research that I just accumulated through actually doing my dissertation and stuff, that it feels so imbalanced when I look at my history bookshelf. So I just want to bulk out the other areas of the world just a little bit more and learn some new things as well. So the next book that I picked up was actually in the true crime section, and I just went on that whole spiel about how I wanted my historical books to be more wide-ranging than just based in the UK. But, you know, my background being in British legal history, I couldn't pass up a book about true crime in the UK. So I ended up picking up Murder at Number 4 Euston Square. I feel like the combination of this being very closely related to what I studied in my master's program, and also being a notorious crime in Victorian London, in an area of London that I frequented a lot when I lived there, it just felt like it was calling to me in the store. So I had to pick it up and add it to my basket. Then of course, it would not be a trip to a used bookstore if I did not pick up a couple new new to me, Agatha Christie paperbacks. This time I picked up Evil Under the Sun and Hickory Dickory Dock. Both of these super cheap, as you can tell from the half price book sticker, both under $3. I have already read Evil Under the Sun. This is the one that's like multiple stories, right? Oh, how funny. Oh my gosh. So I literally opened up this book because I was trying to remember if this is the collection of like 3 short stories, and this bookmark fell out, which is for the Brick Lane bookshop in London, which is so funny. I was just talking about how I used to live in London and I used to go to Euston Square a lot, and then I found this in one of the books that I bought. How serendipitous. That's so funny. I'm glad I got that on camera. Now I have a bookmark for Brick Lane Bookshop as well. I'll have to go by there the next time I'm in London. Then the next book that I picked up was Passing by Nella Larson. This is one that I've heard a lot about, but have not actually read myself. And this book centers around a girl named Claire. She is a light-skinned African-American woman that can and chooses to pass for a white woman in society, to the point where she is married to a racist white man who does not know that she is actually African-American. And the story really centers around the juxtaposition between Claire and her childhood friend Irene, who is just as light-skinned as Claire is, but she chooses to embrace her African-American identity and has chosen to remain within the African-American community. And this book really centers around Claire's own internal struggle about her identity and how she presents herself in society versus how her childhood friend Irene presents herself in society, and how their identities as light-skinned Black women have affected them in different ways. This has been a title that has intrigued me for a very long time, and it has been on my TBR for years and years. Before I even had a Goodreads, I would periodically just make lists of books that I wanted to read, and this one has appeared on several of those handwritten lists. So when I saw it in half price books, I decided to go ahead and grab it so that I can have it on my shelf and have it more at the forefront of my mind that it is a book that I want to read. Then I also picked up a copy of The Hunt for Red October by Tom Clancy. And this is a book that I have not read. I have seen the movie. I believe I had to watch the movie for a class in undergrad, like a history class or something like that. The one with Sean Connery. So I have seen the movie. I barely remember it, other than the fact that obviously it's about like a Russian submarine. But other than that, I really don't remember hardly any of the plot from the movie, because that was also like 10 years ago when I watched the movie. So I decided to go ahead and pick this up because the book is really highly rated and I want to give the book a go. Another rabbit hole that I've been going down is also submarine videos, like videos about catastrophes on submarines. I think it's because I personally am terrified of submarines. You will not catch me on a submarine. You cannot pay me enough money to go on a submarine when it's underwater. So I'm just very interested in people that actually do get in submarines because it freaks me out so much. So this kind of goes hand in hand with my YouTube hyperfixations that have been happening recently. Then this isn't actually like a book to read or anything, but I got this really pretty journal as well. It's reflective, so it's kind of hard to see, but I just thought it was very pretty. It has like this magnet to close the side. It has little page markers in here. And I just really liked the floral design, the color of it, all of that stuff. And this is actually going to be a present for my mom. So if you're my mom watching this and you haven't received this yet, just pretend that you didn't see this, I guess. Didn't think about that before I started filming this video, but hopefully I will get this to you before you actually see this video. But yes, I got this little blank lined notebook as well. And the last book in my stack from Half Price Books is A Day of Fallen Night. I'm not gonna grab it because it's buried underneath a stack of books on this shelf over here, but I do have The Priory of the Orange Tree as well. And so when I saw this in Half Price Books, I really wanted to pick it up, even though I haven't read The Priory of the Orange Tree yet. These covers are just so beautiful that, like, even if I don't end up enjoying the story all of that much, which I feel like I will in any case, they're just so beautiful that I want these on my bookshelf anyway, just for the aesthetic, because this cover art is beautiful. Actually, I will grab Priory of the Orange Tree because that one's really pretty too. The cover art on both of these is so beautiful. And these are definitely books that I got drawn to mostly because of the covers. I had heard really good things about this book as well. So when I saw this one, knew it was part of the same series, and saw how beautiful this cover was, I had to pick it up. They're also both super thick, but because the spines are so thick, the artwork wraps around the spine too, and the spines are even pretty. So they will look beautiful no matter where they are on my shelves, and I need to actually get to reading them as well. So yeah, that is all of the books that I bought at Half Price Books today. I did spend more than I anticipated when I set out on this journey. I was thinking I was gonna spend maybe $70. I ended up spending $100, but seeing as this is the only big book shopping outing that I've done this year with my own money, I was okay with it in the end. Also, by the time I got to the register, I didn't really have a choice because I'm not the type of person to just say you know what, no, put some of this back. So I was already committed by the time they told me the price. I thought it was gonna be more like $80. I think I forgot to add the record when I was doing the math on the stuff in my cart, but you know what? C'est la vie, it's fine. I'm happy with all of the books that I purchased. They will all be great additions to my bookshelf, and they are all books that I am genuinely interested in reading at some point, so I don't think it's money wasted at all. And especially because they were discounted as well, could have definitely spent way more if I would have gone to Barnes & Noble or something. So all in all, I think it was a very productive book shopping day. I had a really great time wandering around Half Price Books as per usual. The flagship store is just so nice. It's like a regular Half Price Books on steroids just because it's huge. And I normally don't venture into the history section of the big Half Price Books, mostly because by the time I'm finished wandering around the fiction section, I have too many books, and I know that that's not a good place for me to venture once I already have arms full of books, but I'm glad that I did today because I ended up getting a couple books that align with things that I'm interested in learning more about. So my little historian heart is happy as well. That's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I feel like I kind of forgot how to do these videos. I kept forgetting to actually film things inside of the store, so hopefully I got enough footage to make it interesting for you all. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a like down below. Let me know. You should also subscribe while you're down there because I put out new videos pretty much every single weekend. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!